got this name down all the way right. The controversial concept. I put an S on that. Conversations. Hey, but we winging it. We going with the flow. We adjusting to it as we go. And this time, we're gonna try to branch out a little bit. Still a high roller. Still rolling the dice. Just taking chances on a different level on the Alex Jones side of the game. To make sure we don't get everybody else on our little point we on right now. So we just gonna step into some different concepts and just see where everybody's thoughts are, and we're gonna get into it from a standpoint of just going with the flow, being open-minded, and just trying to find some morsel of truth in this world of surely it's infinite lies, because a lot of things ain't really what they seem. So this is just a space of questions, not necessarily about making money here or nothing like that, which is a whole nother story that can be a whole nother space within itself. So yeah, I'm just gonna open it up to A1 and see how y'all want to start. And I'm pretty sure if we keep this energy flowing and keep it going, we're gonna build up a space that can eventually be to that part of something where people would be fighting to get in it. A lot of people don't speak their mind. A lot of people just do what people tell them to do. They think how people tell them to think. They don't want to ruffle no feathers. And on a deeper level, they don't want to be alone. They don't want to travel the road less smooth than most, so to speak. So, welcome to Controversial Concept Conversation, titled by A1, the savant of it, but that's a whole other story. So I'm gonna head over to introduce y'all to A1, see if she got anything to add, and then we'll just go from there.
So I just want to start with that savant word. We're gonna leave that alone, but I'm definitely excited for us to start this. I can't wait till we have more people in here to, drop their ideas and concepts. I mean, there's a lot of controversial conversations that we have at the end of our event that I think would be great to branch off into this new segment that we have just started out of spontaneity. We definitely talked about it, but I know we haven't actually started it up. So I'm excited to be in the group. I can't wait till we get some more people in here to have some more conversation. But I know me and you can definitely go off on into a tangent and have a whole hour conversation amongst ourselves about the things and concepts that we talk about on a daily basis in our private group chat.
Oh, for sure. And it's a lot of things that we can delve into. It really just depends. It don't really depend on nothing. We got free reign here. We can talk about anything. Just dang near say anything. Ain't nothing off limits. Well, yeah, ain't nothing off limits.
I wanted to piggyback off of something that you said though. You said that people are afraid to pretty much open up themselves and speak what's on their mind, speak their truth as far as their opinion and views on the world or different things that they see or hear, and they may see a little differently. And I want to say that I was one of those people. And I won't say that I was one of those people because I didn't want people to know what I thought. I guess I'll say that I am one of those people because, I was afraid of, or I am one of those people because I am afraid of what people would think once I express the controversial concepts that I have within my own within my own sense of what is real and what isn't, what I really believe behind the things that we have been fed. One topic being that you dropped in the chat, which is the flat earth idea. very controversial concept, which ties into the Antarctica topic that you dropped. You know, those two things kind of coincide. If you have done the slightest research on the two topics, they coincide with each other. Um, for me, and I would say for a lot of other people, it's not just the fear of, you know, it being true or not being true or being lied to, is what other people may think about you or think about your ideas about these things, because people are so caught up in, the things that we've been taught and led to believe, that they can't think outside of the box. And, they call you crazy or whatever the case may be, because, you know, they can't think outside of the box. All that they see is the things that we've been fed and led to believe. So I think it's great
Slowly
that
said
we,
that.
I'm sorry.
Oh no, I was saying as you slowly said that, I realized I'm gonna have to do way more research. I'm gonna try to just freestyle this. But I get what you're saying, but on a deeper level, it's so many ways we can take the conversation. Like, it's so many ways we can really streamline it. Because the thing about when you open minded, we can go a lot of different directions with this thing, and no way might not be the wrong way.
Facts. I mean, a lot of the things that, you had listed on there, they kind of connect in different ways. Like, just for example, like I said, the Antarctica and flat Earth idea. People believe that the flat is Earth. I mean, the Earth the Earth is flat, and I'm truly one of those people. I won't, what I'm saying, won't say that I don't believe it. Um, and the reason why we can't go to Antarctica is because Antarctica literally surrounds the mass of land that we do have access to, and right outside of the mass of land that we are familiar with, that we consider to be on the globe, this round sphere that we live on, so they say. We can't go to Antarctica because there is land outside of the Earth. I mean, outside of Antarctica, um, which is why it's controlled by the government, and you have to get some type of, you know, approval to even go to Antarctica. I've even heard things about things like the Grand Canyon, where the Grand Canyon can actually take you to other continents if you walk straight through the Grand Canyon. Like, I've read and researched a lot of things that you'll be like, like, is this true? But they say all lies have some truth to it. So, who would just say, from Antarctica, I mean, from the Grand Canyon, you can walk through the Grand Canyon and get to Africa? But who would really know that besides the government? Because we can't go through the Grand Canyon. We can, stand on the balcony and take pictures.
See, that's the thing about when we have these conversations, man, and it kind of makes me smile a bit because it's so many ways you can go with these conversations. You can go a completely different way and go way off the topic. And for instance, I heard that most places that there are a military base, they are protecting the portals that take you away from this side of things, so to speak. Do we have any proof of that? No, but
Of course not.
I guess I gotta find the exact. See, this is where the research is gonna come in. There is something that says, and now something, yeah, that's very vague. That's why I say the research is gonna really have to be pertinent because it's gonna be just like we got the win people in crypto. It's gonna be the skeptical people like, what are you talking about? Where your
Exactly.
reference? Where your website? You did it. It came out your body. Can you prove it? Yeah, you're gonna have to deal with those people. So take this with a grain of salt for sure. But it's something that says whenever the people, whoever's in charge, whatever species they are, human or not, who knows, whenever they do something, they gotta let you know that they did it.
Exactly.
So the very fact that you gotta know that something exists is that you can find it in a book or movie or TV or a video game. And if you slowly look at those things, you can follow the trends. So remember the show Stargate? I don't think those are really shows. I think those are really peers back into what could be, could be, would be, or already is in different dimensions of time or space. Like, and that can get really, like, it can get really, really out there quick. It just depends on which way you want to take the conversation. For instance, I say, hey, let's talk about flat Earth. Now we got to think about it from this perspective. Are we talking about flat Earth because it's going to change something in our daily lives? Or are we talking about flat Earth because is analyzing it going to give us a new superpower? Is it going to really change something? Or is flat Earth a distraction?
I agree. I mean, I think I won't. I want to say that I think that it's a valid concept, but I don't think it's so much of a concept as it is a truth that we just have not been privy to. And I think there's a lot of those, a lot of things that conspiracy theories, because, as far as my knowledge, conspiracy theory was a word, or conspiracy theorist is a phrase that was created by the government to discount people like you and myself that actually think outside of the box or take time to um, gather deeper knowledge on subjects such as these, so that the masses wouldn't really listen to us or even consider us. Not just listen, but consider what it is that we're saying and do their own research. Just like that's why I said so much of what um, we talk about ties into crypto, because crypto is about all about doing your own research. Just like these things that we talk about, it's all about doing your own research. You can't just listen to what the government says, for one, because they lie. People
Mm-hmm.
lie, information lies. But you got to kind of do your own research and have your own discernment, and figure out what really resonates with you. Um,
And see, as we continue to do this show, I can come up with so many different ways to pivot this conversation. But it's good, like you said, we was thinking about doing this show for a while, and it's good to really get it out there because once you start something up, you can see which direction you're gonna take it. So this can be something that could be more thoroughly planned out, like as far as like having a subject and saying which exact way, what point are we trying to prove here,
well, I
other
don't
than
think. Go ahead. I'm sorry.
I don't know, I was just saying because it's so many points we can prove, and it's a like for example, back when I was learning everything or in my study stage, which was about while back, about 15 years ago. When I was 15 years old, I was not a normal kid. I was knowing it was a way up out of here. I don't know the way to get up out of here, but I know when people lying to me. So
Right.
I was always studying here and there, reading the Emerald tablets, reading different types of unusual things, trying to tap into something different. And one thing I kept coming across is inner earth. And like back then, the whole, let me say, let's just say trending topic of that time was inner earth. But now the trending topic is flat earth. And I'm like, which one is true? Or are both of them true? Because I remember that person in the army, what was it, General Baird, or I think that was his name. More research is needed, but he had records and flight logs that he flew inside the inner earth and saw mammals and all type of stuff. Or did he just fly into Antarctica? Who knows? Perception is the key here, and that's something we don't
Hmm.
have. Tell you what, I'm not taking no submarines to go find out.
Well, my thing is, I think that both concepts are true. I think there's a such thing as inner Earth as well as the flat Earth theory. I mean, because even though the Earth may be flat, there is some depth to it. We know that because I mean, you dig a hole, there is some depth to it. Now, how far that depth is, we don't really know. Um, I
That's
think that
true.
there's some truth to them both, and the reason that, I know that there is some truth to the the inner the inner earth, or stuff like that, is because they'll put it on. Now, I don't believe in everything that they put on the news. However, you see those headlines where, oh, they found this sunken, where the earth sunk in this certain place, and there's pretty much like a, not a civilization, but there's, pretty much buildings and things that they have built within the earth where people could have lived. And not to mention, if you think about the pyramids, there are, tunnels and stuff under the pyramids where people have lived. So, I definitely believe in, that concept. I think they not necessarily both coincide with each other, but I think that they are both true. And one of the things that I've learned within my research is, if the world, or this space that we have within the walls of Antarctica, was inhabited by all of these people during these time periods that they specified, then where are all the bodies and people? We still find, there was this thing in New Orleans where they found a lot of indigenous Indians in this man's backyard. He was going to dig a pool and he found a bunch of bodies in his backyard.
Ooh.
Yeah, it was crazy. But they find these random grave sites with a lot of people. But if they are speculating that the earth, as we know it, was inhabited by this amount of people, then where did they go? Where are the bodies? Where are the bones? Bones don't deteriorate, so what happened to those people? And one of the concepts that I read was that, they became enlightened and now they live outside of the walls of the Antarctic. I don't know how much I believe about, that portion of it, but I do believe that there's life outside of those walls, or there's something out there. There's something out there. Gotta be. I mean, why would you protect it? Just like the idea, that I spoke on with the Grand Canyon. Why can't we walk through the Grand Canyon? I mean, I might get lost, I might get thirsty, but you know, if I want to walk through the Grand Canyon and explore, why can't I? And just like the thing that you said with certain places that the government protects, I don't think it's just portals there. I think it's also that there are other creatures and things that the public isn't readily aware of, or they think that would incite fear within us, that they hide from us. So they keep us out in whatever is their end.
This conversation, because we can go into the flat earth, but I thought of a deeper thing. Many people wonder, like, we can find out all the solutions to these options and to these things, but at the end of the day, there's a big chunk of human history missing.
Definitely.
And that's not what people are questioning. As far as, like, all the Bibles, they took out the Bible, like the book of Enoch, the book of the giants. Because I believe 100% that the Bible is a codex, and a codex is just a way of saying it's a modern book stacking pages, securing one set of edges from varying methods over centuries. And the Bible is just 1 century, and we're supposed to be in it for millions and millions and millions of years. They say dinosaurs, they say this, they say that. So at the end of the day, it's almost like it's almost like being lost in a way. Let's look back at like slavery or something like that. If you don't know who you are, you can even know where you're from. But if you don't know, you can say, I'm from, okay, let's just say they take us to another planet. Now we from Earth. Yeah, we know we from Earth, but we don't know nothing about Earth. We don't know what the food looks like. We know what the people look like. We don't know what the habitation looks like. What is your makeup? If you don't know your makeup, you don't know who you are. So we have to really dig deep and figure out what's the makeup of humanity. Because I'm looking at a lot of books. And then also, if the Bible is a codex, is it talking in plain English? Like, like me to you, or is it talking like a contract, like me, you, and a lawyer?
Right.
Because everything don't look like what it is. Like, is the tree of life the actual tree, or is it a mythology of energy and within the body, or is it different gates and galaxies? I done seen so many concepts, and what I've seen and realized is everything refracts and reflects and becomes multiple things and multiple things, almost like when you write a bar, like when you have double entendres when you're writing
Hmm.
a rap lyric. Everything means one thing and it means another thing at the same time, fragmented through different layers.
Exactly. And I don't disagree with you. I think that, these type of concepts are more I'm I think these concepts are more intriguing to people like you and myself because we already have a disconnect within our history. We can only truly really go back so far before we can say, okay, what happened right here? Humanity as a whole can say, okay, we know what happened this year, this century, that century, and then there's a gap. But as far as us as a people, we can only go back so many years until we say, okay, we weren't documented. We were slaves. We didn't, there were no birth certificates for us. We have those big old Bibles with everybody's, name in it going back to maybe a great great grandmother. But who was it before then? So, it gives us, I guess I'll say, more of a need to understand, you know, humanity and ourselves in a different manner than it does for most because we're already searching to find out who we are. So within that search, we come across these other ideas and concepts um, within our research.
Think about it like really, really out loud. The thing about trying to at least get people to see past their current perception is there's so many ways you can go with it. You can reverse engineer any way we grew up and kind of get yourself out to a degree, to a limit. Like you can at least get yourself out to the point of thinking for yourself. But it's so many layers to the matrix, so to speak. So many layers, like the flat Earths and like all those topics I listed, the diet, this, that, the money. We can have we could probably have a week worth of spaces just about money,
Definitely.
and then go into the layers of money. Like, is it currency like money, or is it currency like energy, or is it currency like electricity, or is it all three, or is it currency like a currency, or is it? Well, it's just so many ways you can keep flipping it. It's so many ways you keep flipping it, and it's so much time to wake up for it. Like you said, let me pivot back real quick because it just hit me. I lost it when you were saying, "Where did all those people go? Are we in a universe or not? Or is this a university or not? And if this is a universe, are we in a university? And are people graduating from here? And if they are graduating, where are they going? Not graduating from
Exactly.
college. The devil has a way of reversing things and making you get validation through him, when in actuality, that's a very small portion of what the reality really is. And it's just a forgotten piece of the past. Like, are we cosmetologists getting our hair done, or are we cosmetologists studying the universe? It's just so many layers to it to break down.
I agree. And that was one of the concepts was that, the people who live within the mass of the earth that we currently live in with inside of the Antarctica was that, they became enlightened and learned how to live and work together. So once they became enlightened, they were able to move outside of, the walls of Antarctica, which, is a nice idea. How true it is, we don't know. I mean, we don't really know if the earth is flat or, what the truth really is until that time comes. But um,
Yeah, we got hit with the man in black laser. I don't remember nothing.
I think we got hit with the men in black laser on a lot of ideas. But at this point, I don't even think it's the men in black idea, the men in black laser. I think it's just that we are so lost and being taught so many different things, and the older generations are starting to die off. So, the only thing that we have at this point is the things that we've been taught and our desire to learn the truth. I think that these generations from like my age or our age and younger, we're in the realm of us trying to learn the truth. Whatever it is that the powers that be have put out into the space are um, not necessarily starting to be disproven, but we're starting to, for the generation that's starting to think outside of the box, we're starting to form our own ideals, form our own concepts, form our own identity, and all of these types of things. So, they're struggling to keep control and regain control. Um, but I see a lot more of people, speaking out about things that they've learned and researched, as far as, just everyday things that we've been taught in general. Like the whole idea about all of the presidents being related, which is wild. And of course the flat earth theory. It's always been a theory, but it's become more of something that people tend to talk about. But who really knows? I mean, at this point we all know that those um, first walks on the moon is fake, you know, from just if you watch it and you have a good concept of science, um, you can see they don't quite look realistic, or you can, tell that something doesn't look right. Um, just like when I watch a newer movie, I mean, they use their, I can't think of what word to use, but they use the technology to make those, like the sci-fi movies. They use technology to make those movies look real. But when you watch older movies, you can tell that, they using little strings to make Superman fly and stuff like that. So when you go back and watch those old, like really old movies of man landing on moon and them looking at Earth from the moon and stuff like that, you can tell it looks fake.
Exactly.
But again, it's all about perception and how you look at things. Some people, love and believe in their government wholeheartedly. I'm just not one of those people.
Yeah, I'm one of them people that I look at the world like this. Let's just say, most people hate old school rap, but they're like hippie to the hop to the hippie. Like that's the government in a way. Like they didn't hippie hop you to death and they didn't hit you with the bars. And this is a weird analogy, but let's just say we the people, we trying to listen to Lil Pump, man. We just trying to turn up. Like we just trying to tap in. We ain't trying to do none of that. But they
Right.
hit you with bars of irrelevancy, such as the program. You born,
Yeah.
you live, you go to college, you die, you get the ticket, fancy do the tell you do, it's over with. But at the end of the day, you would have to reverse engineer to get back to a base step to see through the presidents, the gates, all type of gates they put up, the Papa John's gates. You know what I'm talking about?
Definitely.
The different type of realities that we in. Like you say, and back in my grandma's day, she might have saw Superman on a string and thought that looked like the CGI today. But we looking at that like, man, that look crazy. And in 20 years, somebody gonna be looking at us like, y'all believe that? But you gotta always be the person that never. I ain't gonna say never believes that, because everybody's entitled to believe what they want to believe. But you have to be able to question that perception and want to push that boundary to get outside that box, like with the conversations we have here. And the problem with the box is it a box or is it a tesseract? Is it a 3D box? Is it a 4D box? Is it a 5D box? If you never know what trap you're in, how can you can escape that box?
That's a great question. And I don't know why, but I've had this concept in my head for a while now. So you know how I don't know how many people play this game still. I think it's still a game that people play, but it is an old game. I know I've played it. It's called Sims. You know what Sims is, right? A little
Yeah.
game where you. Okay, so my idea in my head was, you and I, we know we live in the matrix. So my idea was, what if, because we are, um, technology is advancing, and we have these AIs, we're building AIs, and like you said, they put things in movies and things like that to show us what's going to happen or what has happened if you're watching an older movie that has transpired. So there's a lot of movies coming out about AIs and what the earth will be like, in the future. So, my kind of thought is, what if, because they say reality is not reality. Some people who have controversial concepts, they say reality is not reality. So, what if, we believe that we are real and this is reality because this is the reality we live in. But what if in reality we are, you know, artificial intelligence. We just have these feelings and things like that because we've been coded to feel that way and we become advanced. But what if we really are like real life Sims within a world that we have no idea of?
Now
Maybe
you tapping in.
maybe I don't feel like getting up and fixing me something to eat because the person who has the cell phone with me on as their Sim didn't, check in with me today and get me up to, fix me something to eat. So I'm just laying in the bed, just chilling, hungry because I don't feel like fixing me something to eat because they didn't log in and say, hey, let's go fix some food. We hungry. My energy level is low. You feel what I'm saying?
Yep. Yeah, I feel like that to a degree. Like you know how they say, let's just say people look at robots or animals and like, you ain't got no. Well, I don't look at it like that. But, most people be like, you ain't got no feelings, you ain't got no ideas, you know what you think. You just do what you programmed to do. For instance,
Right.
I got a story a little bit. I gave my dog. I went to the store. I got him a bone, man. I gave him a bone. I went to like Whole Foods or something. I gave him a bone. Took it out the package. I thought it was just gonna be a regular bone because I ain't never bought him no fancy bone. Like, it was like $7. I try to get my dog a little treat every once in a while, whatever. So I took it out the package. It had the fat all on it. I was like, this ain't no regular bone. The dog started hyperventilating and started shaking like it was 30 to 20 degrees. I was like he was a human. I was like, what's wrong with this dude? I'm like, that's just what he's programmed to like. And then it made me think about human beings on a deeper level. And I think I have these conversations with Mike to a degree. To a degree, but my stuff get a little bit off the deep end because I'm like, we are programmed to procreate. We have a biological prerogative to keep procreating. And as men, we got a biological prerogative to be attracted to women. But that in itself can be considered a prison, depending at how you look at it. The human body can be considered a prison, depending on how you look at it. We got so many codes within ourselves to break, and then we got the outside perceptions that influence that prison, such as the sex, the drugs, the entertainment, the
Hmm.
repetition of what they push into us to say that that's life. It's the thinking you need to chase a relationship. You need to always be surrounded by people, by friends, by things. And it's just layers and layers and layers of programming. Programming that I feel like to a degree, I ain't gonna, nobody's 100%, but I can very, very, very much see through it and see the perception of it and see how it's going. And it's very, very different. I'm gonna get off the deep end, but I don't know if I should get that deep off the deep end.
Come on, let's go. I'm for it. Let's get it.
Because the way I look at it, and uh, the way I look at it, until we stop and master that, the very, very basics of being alone, not needing somebody, and then finding a way to get over those biological cravings, so to speak. Those And there are ways, and there are things and mythologies I tapped into. Like I talked to, like I always like to use Mike for example, because me and Mike, we didn't have 5 hour conversations about stuff like this. Not,
First of all,
and it
I
was just
feel
me.
left out, but okay, go ahead.
It was just me mainly just telling him like, people think it's like this, but it's really not like this. People think it's crypto, but it's really not like that neither.
Right.
It's so many different levels. The goal is freedom on all
I get
levels.
it. I agree.
The end. Mental, physical, spiritual, ethereal, whatever other level we don't know about. After that, we take it how we take it and we get to it how we get to it. So we got to reverse engineer the programs that keep us locked into the everyday. And then
Definitely.
also engage into the new programs as far as like the social media, the likes, the being on Facebook and thinking 5,000 people are your friends. Yeah. we got,
Yeah.
got to really got to be able to go in and out, and really pivot and see what's what. So to me, on a deeper level, I believe the relationships are the problem. Friends, family, girlfriend, boyfriend, all of those are programs within a way.
I agree too because for one, I think most people don't see they truly believe that crypto was this thing that somebody created outside of the government to give financial freedom to the masses, which it is in a sense, but it's only that for the people who really recognize it for what it is early on, for them to catch on and get into the space and get some money in there and become millionaires. But really it was a technology created by the government for them to monitor and also make money for themselves. As we all know, it's the next industrial revolution, but it wasn't really for us. It was for them. We just catching on to it, and those of us who are early will benefit from it. I mean, there's not too much under the sun that they're not involved in my personal opinion. Even the woke movement, for those who are being awakened. Of course, there are some of us who are being awakened because we're just enlightened, but there's no way that the movement would make its move without them allowing it to move. And that's just being totally transparent because they have pretty much control over everything. And at some point I do believe that, they will lose that fight. But, at this point they have control of the masses. There's only a small amount of us who truly believe and, work toward becoming more enlightened and things like that. Um,
I
but
got
as I'm sorry.
oh, my headphones died. I'm back.
Okay, but as far as crypto, I really believe that it was something that they produced. There are patents and stuff out there that even so much as says so. I just think we have the opportunity to get in early and make massive amount of money, make noise, and make changes for people like me and you.
See, when we set up our next, I call it C3, controversial concept conversation, we're gonna have to vote on some topics, man. 'Cause it's so many ways we could take this. So many ways. And once we streamline it, we'll really have it down. That was just a
That
note. That was just a footnote.
right. There's definitely a lot of controversial conversations that we can have, man. Like, um,
And when
there's so many things
they,
that people are afraid to speak on, and I told you my goal is to be shadow banned. I want to talk about the stuff that people are afraid to talk about, and I don't say people without including myself because I'm one of those people. I'm afraid that something may happen to me because I'm speaking out about certain things. But I watch a lot of people that do speak out about those things, and I'm sure they have the same fears. But if we're all afraid to speak out about these things, then how are we going to reach and teach the next person? How are we going to change the outcome? Our ancestors didn't change the way that the world was led. They didn't change slavery or segregation by being quiet and just accepting what was in front of them. They spoke out. Now we can, that's a controversial concept all within itself, because they did continue to build slavery in another manner that most people don't accept, understand, acknowledge, or even see, that in all sense of the words, we are still in bondage and under slavery. As far as having to work a 9 to 5 just to live, we could all tend to our own lands, eat, be prosperous. There's free energy. We don't have to have all of these fancy devices and things that we have. We could all live a simple life. But they just created this capitalist world. But you know, there's a lot of ways that you, like you said, there's a lot of ways that you can go about the concepts that we're discussing. But again, my goal is honestly to be shadow banned, because there's not enough people speaking out on these types of subjects to people who don't see it. I want to reach the people that don't see it, that are afraid to speak their truth, and I want those people to come into these spaces, not just this one, but other spaces like this one, and speak their truth and expand their knowledge. And even if they don't speak on it, to get them to listen, and even if they don't speak on it, they're going to listen and say, okay, I heard this, and this is not the first time I've heard this. Just like they say with crypto, you hear things, you hear about a crypto at least 7 times before you actually take action and look into it and maybe purchase a little bit. I want them to come into this space and other spaces like it and be like, okay, I've heard this so many times. Let me go on Google, which I have my differences with Google. But hey, let me go on Google or Bing.com or Yahoo search or whatever the case may be, and do a little research myself. Let me go on TikTok and listen to some people, Facebook, X Space, and do some research into this subject or that subject. And again, pick out what resonates with them.
See, I'm right there with you. I really, really believe on a spiritual level, like crypto's cool. I like crypto, I like bullish projects, all that. But I believe on a deeper level, this is what I really supposed to be doing. This is what I always felt like doing. Like just trying to help the people. That's really what it's always been about. Trying to just shine light on certain things and certain concepts and get people to see what they want to see. If it's their time to see things, who knows? Who knows how it's gonna go? And like you said, your goal is to be shadow banned. If you see by my profile picture, I ride my motorcycle damn near every day. I don't really fear dying. Like that's not. We already know that ain't the end. Like so, you
Right.
ain't gonna come threaten me with nothing. I'm gonna tell the truth. It really don't matter because the only thing that we really have is the truth. If you let people coddle you up and just you could be the sheep of it and just do what people want you to do. What's the whole point in doing that? That that
Facts.
that don't really work with me. Like I'd rather be shadow banned or Alex Jones. You want the crypto, you can have the crypto. You want the money, you can have the money. That don't move me. That's just extra. That's just fun. Like that's just part of the matrix. That's just fun. Let's do that. Let's have a little bit of fun. But none of that moved me. At the end of the day, the only thing that really matters is the truth and getting to the deeper level where you can understand the truth. So then you can take that pill like Cypher and say, hey, do I want the red pill or the blue pill? If you decide you want to go back and drive the Lambo, go drive the Lambo. As long as you're conscious that you're driving the Lambo. Like I told my children, I said, if y'all grew up and y'all decide y'all want to do your own thing, I will not be mad. The whole point is, do you have the consciousness to make your own decision to say,
Hmm.
I'm choosing to do this on purpose? Because a lot of people
Right.
are on autopilot.
Exactly. They don't even know that they living within this matrix and they're not conscious of it. It's one thing, because I can't remember who it was that I was talking to. But you know how we do. I met somebody new, and I kind of went into the conversation of, the things that we as a group generally talk about, and they were like, yeah, I know all of that stuff, but I kind of tend to stay away from those topics because they're eerie, or whatever the case may be. And it's one thing for you to be conscious of these concepts, ideas, and know these things for sure, and for you to just say, okay, hey, this is what it is. The world is this way. I know that it is this way, but I choose to live within this matrix because that's what I choose, versus being in the matrix and not knowing you're in the matrix. And that's what bothers me the most. I mean, I don't like the fact that people know that they live within this matrix, and that there are things being done that they have the potential to explain to other people, or in some way attempt to change, and they ignore it. That's their choice. um but I want to bring that idea, the knowledge, to the people who don't know. So at least, just like with Christianity, people say, I spread the gospel of Jehovah, so, to enlighten more people and bring them to God. I spread this gospel because I want people to know and enlighten them on the things of the world. Not just Christianity, but the world in general. The fact that they live within this matrix that has been built, and they are so blindsided by social media, money, cars, this high life living, that they don't even see the things that are going on in the background.
I look at it like this. You see that Cat Williams interview he did on that Club Shay Shay, where
I
he was
sure did. All 2 hours and 45 minutes, or however long
like,
it was, I sure
it was
did.
like he adopted the 7 kids, and people, and he asked him, "Why did you adopt 7 kids?" And he was like, "What if I told you when I was a kid I wanted to be God's friend?" It's pretty much the same thing. The whole point in doing this is because I want to win. When things go down, no matter which way they go down, I want to be on the right side of history. I want my Akashic records, or my whatever the creator that we don't know judges us by. I want to be light as a feather when I leave up out of here. So at the end of the day, the only thing that matters is truth and just speaking it. You can have a little fun with it while you do it. Just
Right.
just gonna speak it, gonna spread it, and there's so many layers to it. But it's so easy to find. All you gotta do is just find any lie and reverse it.
I think what people, this is a concept that I came up with on my own, because I'm empathetic like you. This is a concept that I came up with on my own, just based off my own knowledge and ideology, before I actually seen any information on the subject, which is that we are all one. Like, literally, we are all one, of one idea, one thought, one concept, one person, one spirit, one soul. It's all one. We all make up one. If any religion that you may come across or study, it's about oneness. Um, and people don't really realize that we are all literally one. We all are experiencing the same life within different individuals, different time frames, different bodies, different feelings, but it's all, in a sense, happen simultaneously. Um, but we all interconnect to this one individual, and if we all accepted, or understood that concept more, we would be a different place. I can't really say, Earth, because, flat Earth theory, all of that. But if we all understood more that we were literally branched off from um, one piece of energy, I'll say that if we all understood that we were all one energy, one source, we would treat each other a little differently, because that same whatever energy, or um, attitude, whatever presence you give off when you're amongst these people, you are giving off to yourself, because these people are a piece of you. We all come from the same source of energy. And when we die, we all go back to that same source of energy. We are all one collective.
Exactly. And that's why when you see when I be tweeting on the crypto side, I say same energy. Like I say, it's really a bar. I'm really saying three or four things at the same one time. But you accept that whatever level you at. Same thing when I say one. It's the same thing. 10 toes,
Exactly.
nothing but grounding your feet into the earth, tapping into the ley lines. Everything has multiple meanings. So I'm right there with you. I definitely get what you're saying.
Yeah, it just takes for a deeper understanding, honestly, because like I said, it was something that I've become to understand over the last few years just from my research and knowledge, not actually hearing somebody say it or see it. It was just, all of my ideals coming together, and I'm like, you know, we are all one at the end of the day, at the end of the lifetime, at the end of the flat earth, at the end of the universe as we know it. We are all cosmic beings that come together to be one cosmic being, just like in the Bible it says we are all a part of Christ. If we are all a part of one Christ, then we are one. I mean, it's just as simple as that. I mean, there's no if, ands, or buts about it. You can't be a part of one thing and not all be one.
Exactly.
You pull all of these oranges off of one tree, it's just that same tree. It just begat more fruit, multiple fruit. Uh,
Exactly. And it's like you say, we are one. I think a little bit weirder than most people. I think if you zoom out far enough, we'll just be an atom, really, on another big body.
you, we right here because you read my mind, and that's how I think. Because you know how I was saying we all sins and things like that. But even within the body, you have these atoms that have protons, electrons, whatever the case may be. But within that one organism, there's all these little, microorganisms that make up the whole organism. We could literally be one nerve on one body and never know it, but we're living within the world that we understand and concept as our reality.
Exactly. Now I'm gonna
You
ask
know,
you. I
go
think
ahead.
this is a nice first show. How long y'all want to keep this going? We could do this all night, but I think we could plan this out for a better time to have. It was very spontaneous tonight. I think we could have way more engagement and get way more interesting conversations and even some opposition. Like there's nothing wrong with that. It's all challenging to a degree. So I don't mind running with it, but we could definitely just wrap it up episode slightly, and then we could come up with a thing to maybe do this on Sundays or a day where most people will be free to come tap in and really see what we talk about. Because I'm pretty sure we wearing out the nerves of people that's probably over 40. They ain't finna be up at 1 in the morning. You know what I mean? A lot of people got stuff to do. They ain't finna be up at 1 in the morning trying to tap in. But I get it. Like I like to be spontaneous and do things like this, and we really don't need to put a time on it. I like just they go with the flow, but just throwing that out there. I love these conversations we have and the things we getting into, and I believe we gonna really meet some good people into the future and tap into some different things. And like just like when the Vegas chat started up, look where we are now. You know where things might go in the future. So just be mindful of
Definitely.
that. And I think we could really just start. Let me just say, we can wind it down and we can really come back with some powerful points because it's so many ways to approach this conversation, and the scope of it might really be we might need to dive into a couple different books to really get to where we're trying to go with this thing.
All
For
right,
sure.
give us some homework. What books are we talking about?
Shoot, give me some homework. I got books. I ain't got no books in my house, but I got books I read before. I got what the Emerald Tablets of Thoth. My books ain't books we gonna really. You don't have to go look for them. When I was a kid, I was 16. I'll tell you the story. When I was a kid, I was 16. It was this dude. He told me he was he I don't know, man. It get weird. It get weird. It get weird. Dude
Come
sent
on,
me.
tell us. We listening.
He sent me a whole notebook of things he like just wrote down, and I swear it got deleted off my computer, and I didn't delete it. The whole computer just went black, and I can't explain it. I can't explain it, but he said he was like a reincarnated something, and then it made me think of the Emerald tablets of Thoth, and they were saying Thoth is just the same person that keeps coming back because he knows how to leave his body and keep coming back because he's in tune with that certain side of humanity that we lost, and that he comes back throughout time and taps in at different times. And is like most of the people you see throughout time is pretty much that same person. I ain't talking about on like a more so spiritual level. It's more so on like a, this emperor here, this person there, this positive person here. So I don't know. I'm really rambling with this one, but that was just
I,
something I can't really explain it.
I'll be honest. I feel like, in this past year or so, I feel like, I never really, I won't say that I discredited reincarnation. I always found it kind of interesting. I never really did any research on it. Still haven't done any research on it. But as I've learned more, especially on our controversial concepts and conversations, um, I really truly believe that um, I have been reincarnated a few times for me to learn some things, and the things that interest me are because it's my time to do something pivotal. What it is specifically, I don't know, but part of it is just me speaking out. I always have things that I want to say, and like I said before, I don't want to say the things that I think in my mind or that resonate with me because they are so controversial. But that's why I say my goal is to be shadow banned because I think that this is the time. The time is now. The world is changing, and we need more people to kind of stand out and stand up. Not necessarily stand out, but stand up and say what it is and what it isn't. Um, I definitely feel like I've been here a few times, and this is my last time because this is the time that whatever it is that I was learning from those last few times that I was reincarnated. I learned, I gathered, and whether I know it, up front and foremost in my mind right now, it'll come to me as things transpire, and I'll be able to just speak them. Me and you both spoke about how this is not something that we would normally do. It's way outside of my comfort zone, and my internally my personal feelings is that I don't want to be shadow banned. I don't want to be bothered because I know the types of things that come along with it. But externally,
And website
my
offering his
goal,
services.
um, I guess to say, is to be shadow banned because I know that is deeper than just me. Again, we are one collective. We're one person. So, I wanna reach all those people, no matter the cost or detriment to myself.
Well, as they would say in Star Wars, this is the way. I mean, that's the way I feel it is. Self-sacrifice goes a long way. You can't do that for everybody. You see how that gets you.
Yeah, but I mean, you got to think about it. When you have the type of understanding and knowledge that we have, all of this is just physical. Am I going to miss my family? I know that my family is going to miss me. Yes. I've set things in place. We invest in our crypto and things like that for me to have a better physical life. And I hope to be able to see those things come to fruition so that I can propel the life that I currently live within this reality. And money is not a big thing to me, never has. But would I like to have some? Yes. Would I like to live in a nice house and win Lambo? Of course. Um,
Why
but I
not?
think, but I think that you say they say more money, more problems, and I think that um, my wealth in this
But one thing's
lifetime
for
will
certain.
be reaching people and teaching people, and I will also gain some financial wealth in this lifetime by doing so, and it'll also be my reward for doing so. But my lifetime will also be um, kind of cut short this time because I've already learned what I've learned in the other lifetimes, and because my goal is to share as much as I can share in this lifetime. And when you do those types of things, you have a certain uh, people come after you when you do those types of things because they don't want you to,
I'm
you
right.
know, enlighten others.
I'm right there with you. So the two books I would recommend, we're gonna go on opposite sides of the spectrum. And let me make sure I got the title right because I don't want to give you the wrong title.
I got my pen ready.
All right, it's Cat in the Hat. Cat in the Hat goes on. I'm just messing with you.
I sure wrote it down. I'm like, Cat in the Hat. Maybe I need to read it again. I ain't reading between the lines. Because, you never know. They always put things in between the lines. So
Now, it's going to go a little old school. We're going to go 1970. Better yet, we can do books, movies, whatever. But we're going to do The Spook Who Sat by the Door by Sam Green.
Spook Who Sat by the Door?
Yeah, The Spook Who Sat by the Door by Sam Green.
Sam Green.
The first black CIA officer. That's going to... Yeah, you probably tap into some stuff with that. Nobody didn't ever see him sitting by the door.
Oh, wait. That's the first black CIA officer. That's a different book, right?
Yeah.
And who's the author of that one?
Oh, no. That's all. That was just a description. That's the same book. My bad.
Oh, okay.
And the second one, and I'm going to leave it at that. We'll probably just wrap it up right here. The second one is The Emerald Tablets of Thoth the Atlantean by M. Dorrell. Came out in 2006.
You said the Emerald Tablets or what?
Thoth the Atlantean.
By who?
Just M. Dorrell is the author.
Okay. Gotcha.
And I'm down for like always shifting the perspective. Like, some books, shoot, I'm down for any type of information that'll shift, financial, whatever. So, hey, I'm with it.
I'll be completely honest. I know you say I'm a savant. I do pick up on things very, very easily, but for me, I've just never been an avid reader. They say we don't read, and I'm very much so that stereotype, in a sense, because I will read, but it has to be something of interest to me. If it got too many pages, I'm already over it. But I'm a little older now. Because when I was younger, I loved school. I loved going to school. But once I got into like middle school, high school, I was like, what's the point? And I guess that was when my understanding started coming to fruition. And I didn't really understand why, because I always loved school. But at that point, I was like, what's the point? And I didn't really understand it. But now as I'm older, I'm just like, now I understand that the educational system is not what it seems to be. And I don't plan to put my children in it. I plan to educate my children myself. Yeah, I may teach you what they require us to teach you because I don't, how they do. They want to take the kids and all kinds of crazy stuff just to keep them at bay. But I also plan to teach my children the things that I believe that they should know for my understanding. You should know math and how to, write using proper English or speak proper English and, the basic concepts of science. But a lot of that shit is, excuse my French, a lot of those things are very much so inaccurate. They teach us those things to keep us within this box and not think outside of the box. So
Yeah, I've been on both sides. Like, I went to school up to like what, fifth grade, and then I was homeschooled. So I saw both sides. Definitely opened up my mind being homeschooled, and I homeschooled my kids up until they was like 7, and then you could see how the programming, where the programming starts.
oh yeah, definitely. And like, it's just, vaccines. My son has not been vaccinated at all whatsoever. I let them give him a special K because they was trying to vaccine my son, and me and my wife got married right before we had my son, and they were trying their hardest to give him vaccines, and I kept telling them no, and they was like, "Well, are you dad?" Because I'm a female, and I'm like, "Yes, I'm going to be on his birth certificate. My wife and I are legally married, like legally, not for fake, not what they call it, when people live together for 3 months, you're I can't think of that word, but common law married. I'm like, no, we're legally married. I have every right in Alabama. If you're married, then by law, he's my son. You cannot vaccinate him. No, you can go and ask my wife if you want to, but she's going to tell you the same thing. Do not vaccinate my son. Um, so he hasn't had any vaccines or anything, and my son did not even get sick or catch a cold until he was about 2 years old. And him and my wife had coronavirus. That was the first time that he actually got sick. I did not give my son cow milk. He drank almond milk and juice when they had that whole thing where people couldn't find milk, the powdered milk, which I didn't really realize at the time that it was made with some cow milk, and we were giving him that. After they had that whole thing where they were running out of milk, it was low on stock. We just started giving him almond milk, and my son never even had a cold or anything like that until he was about 2 years old. And then they're in New York now, so he got pretty sick. But climate change and stuff like that. But yeah, I don't. I'm definitely different. I want my kids to be. I want what I would like for them is to be different and you know spread their ideas. They don't have to necessarily be mine, but I hope that some of the ideas that I have are resonate with them, and they spread those same ideas throughout the world, and it causes a chain reaction because the things that we see and believe aren't necessarily the truth. We've been fed a bunch of lies, and whether my truth is the truth, one thing I know for sure is that everything isn't what it seems to be. That I know for sure.
That is true, and I'm right there with you. And as I say, we can pivot into a whole nother conversation. But I think this will be a good little, little pivot to just wrap it up right quick. And then we can brainstorm and get back to it at another date. How you feel about that?
I'm with it. I just want to thank the two people that we got in here listening besides VCR, but he's our DJ IT tech man, but apparently vaulted and future wealthionaire, which I think I've seen you guys before in some of our other spaces. But I just want to shout out to you guys for joining us and being in the conversation. And if you guys have some topics that you want to talk about, definitely drop them in the comments, or DM me or Vid. We always welcome everybody to come and speak because it's all about being heard, speaking and being heard. We got to hear each other. Like I said, we all one. So I want to hear you guys' perspective because I'm always open to receiving other people's opinions inside of the story. You don't have to agree with me. I like to disagree because then we can create a conversation and, if not find a solution, find a middle grounds, or expand each other's knowledge on whatever the subject is that we may disagree upon.
I would like to humbly disagree. If you ain't talking about what I'm talking about, I don't give a damn about what you talking about. We came to talk about. Nah, I'm just playing.
Ignore him.
But I'm Hey, I'm with everything she said. Yeah, everything she said for real. Like I'm down with people just expressing themselves. You ain't gotta think the way I think. I'm down. I accept people where they at, whatever level they at, whatever religion they at, how they think. Like it don't even matter to me. At the end of the day, you zoom out far enough, we all ants. Who cares? Just if you got something to
Exactly.
say it. If you ain't got nothing to say, that's cool too. If you want to disagree, say it. You want to cuss me out, say that too. Whatever, I don't care. It don't matter.
I
Nothing really.
think religion. I think religion would be a good subject to get
Uh,
on. Not that would be definitely a
Like,
controversial concept conversation. Religion is a big one that I think that could stir up the pot and get some people talking.
I think we
You
can
know,
pick
people
conversation.
don't like, huh?
I think we could pick one conversation, and it would take a whole week to kind of get to some type of ending. Because
But
it get deep.
I think religion is the one though, because people like to defend their religion wholeheartedly, especially Christianity, since it's so big in the U.S. Not so much
Hey,
in recent years, but a lot of us were raised on Christianity, um, so I think that would be a good controversial topic, because I definitely have my own thoughts about it. I mean, I hold no uh, religious title per se. So, I'm
it's
ready
so
to argue.
man, so many levels, man. We can really gonna have to narrow it. We're gonna have to have a vote. Man, it's crazy. But yeah, I I guess we should just go on and wrap this one up right here, and we can end it, or we can do a song. How y'all want to do it? Just end it.
We got to release that last song that we did at some point. I think it would be a good theme song for the channel.
I want to highlight this real quick. Apparently, Voltage said the topics discussed here are very controversial. Yes, there is nothing wrong with the conversations, though. The truth will always prevail in the light. That's fact.
Facts. I like that.
That's facts. That's very, very, very much facts. So, I agree with that. So you said play a song or don't play a song. We gonna figure out a format, just like we was working on the format for the regular show. So we'll get it. I'm one of them people like just start it up and figure it out as I go. For real, like
Fact. Well, I want to hear that one song he was playing. I can't think of how it goes, but I think it was like the second or third song that he was playing. I can't even remember the words to it at this point, but it was a good song. It was like I want to say it was like a country song, alternative song.
oh yeah.
He was talking about opinions. Maybe
Mm,
BCR can figure out what song I'm talking about.
I feel like I'm losing my mind.
That's it.
Is everybody in the world blind? Please, Lord, give me a sign, a sign. I feel like I'm losing my mind. Is everybody in the world blind? Please, Lord, give me a sign, a sign. I wanna be the greatest. Everybody on the fake shit. I look around and feel like everybody is the fakest. I make this every day and I'm impatient, hoping one day I blow up from the basement. Statement, the top is so vacant. I don't hear shit that I think is amazing. Waiting for my day when I'm playing sold out shows for 1,000 faces. Hey, give me that crown, get in my way and to be put down. It ain't your place, all this my town. If I want that shit, then I'll get it right now. I'm losing it, the noose it fits, I'm losing shit. A stupid myth, you choose to live or choose to dip. You choose to fight or lose your grip and lose a gift. I feel like I'm losing my mind. Is everybody in the world blind? Please, Lord, give me a sign, a sign. I feel like I'm losing my mind. Is everybody in the world blind? Please, Lord, give me a sign, a sign. Yeah. There's no mercy in this world, just hunger-thirsty persons in different versions. Each new update, that shit worsens. Why? Pull back the curtain and you'll see the different vermin. We all have different burdens that all seem to cause disturbance. Yo, do me a favor, don't treat me like a neighbor. Don't need the different different flavors of your problems just to savor. I've got my own issues, I need a comb to get through. Don't need to groan with you, just go get your own tissue. I feel like I'm losing my mind. Is everybody in the world blind? Please, Lord, give me a sign, a sign. I feel like I'm losing my mind. Is everybody in the world blind? Please, Lord, give me a sign, a sign. That's it, the end of the song. Next time you'll sing along. Trust me, there's nothing wrong. I just need to carry on, cause society's a myth put there to make you sit. Listen to what they give. Don't ask questions, shut your lid. Yeah, don't ask questions, shut your lid. I need to run away from this and go get off the grid. Feel like my brain is overloaded, man, I'm losing it. Don't let them tell you what to do, man, they don't know shit.
Hey, apparently voltage. You want to speak real quick? All right, I take that as a cue. All right, y'all. We're gonna go ahead and end it right here. I appreciate y'all. Apparently, damn it. Get tired. I appreciate y'all. Apparently, voltage, future millionaire. Oh, I'm so dumb. My bad.
What's up? No, you're good. You're good. Good morning. How you doing, Ben?
It was so bad.
I was like trying to get to the mute button, the unmute button, but
I was like, he really liked this song. It's crazy.
no, yeah, it was a good song. I backtracking to the conversation earlier. Again, I believe certain topics obviously do need to be talked about. For me personally, I'm a very young individual navigating, the Web3 crypto space. Um, it's very prominent that I'm voted. Um, it's in my name, and again, like it's not even just crypto or like the freedom, but the world needs purity. There's so many bad actors in the world, and for me, man, I had a very I'm 23 right now, so I'm very young. I have so much room to grow as an individual, and you know, a lot of I'll say this because this is what's helped me in my life. I've always had belief in myself, but what I really lacked was the actions behind those beliefs. And when I started taking the right actions, my life started becoming a lot more better. More doors started opening up, and I like to come up in these spaces, and this is like what, like maybe like the fifth, sixth, seventh time I've tuned into your space. You do a great job, Vin. You let almost anyone come up and speak. The environment is very peaceful here. I know you are a part of the Vegas Inu token, so shout out to y'all for being resilient in the market we're in right now. Um, so, man, just the action it is, the action, taking the action to do it is what's important for me. The discipline to stay consistent no matter what. That's for anyone in life who wants to be successful, is the consistency, the drive. And thank you for having me speak, Vin.
Hey, and I most definitely appreciate you and future with listening, and I appreciate your words and your kindness also. Hey, man, I try to make it a safe space. Like I said, it ain't gotta always be about vote. It ain't always gotta be about Vegas. It could be about anything. We can make it bigger than crypto, not in an egotistical way, just in a. I care about human beings, so we could just keep pushing it for real, and just getting to it how we get to it for real. Because that's what it's all about.
Well, I didn't mean to cut you off, Ben, but I just wanted
Oh,
to
thank
say
you.
to apparently vote that what I'm saying, we appreciate you coming up and speak. We have people come up and speak, but generally there are high rollers. So we appreciate you coming up and speaking. And I know for me, just like it is for Vint. You know, we wanna reach that younger generation, even though me and Vint are the same age and we're not too much older than you, not even 10 years older than you. Um, we gotta reach and teach that next generation. And in this realm of knowledge and understanding, you know, we want to reach our family members and our younger siblings, and even, you know, the older generation, our grandmas and grandpas, people who have been around the world for a long time, but they're so indoctrinated. They've been around for 70, 80 years, and they can't see outside of the box. And some of the younger generation are so and tuned in the box that they can't think outside of it. So it's very much so appreciated that we have people come into the space that are at your age, that have a deeper knowledge and understanding, that can um, understand, not understand, but understand the concepts that, you know, we have come to uh, form our own opinions about, and have some young people that can continue on with, you know, not specifically our own ideologies, but to keep the conversation going, if nothing else. You know, not just beat down on people with our personal ideas or our personal opinions or our personal understanding, but to keep the conversation going and, you know, not let them win. It's all about we the people, even though that's what the Constitution says, but that's not the case. We gotta create and really be we the people.
And I'm right there with you. One thing I believe is you can't change the universe's math, man. It's gonna. I feel like, say, like they try to take out leaders or whatever. You gonna take some away over here. It's gonna cause a bunch of people to be born over here, and we gonna even
Exactly.
keep the conversation going. We ain't worried about nothing. I just want everybody to love and enjoy and learn. And like, I'm the type of person, man. I appreciate people where they at. I appreciate all religions. I appreciate wherever people are at in their life. I can go to a church. I can go to a mosque. I can go to a synagogue. I can go wherever because I accept people where they at and I accept them how they live and what they do. So
But
I like variety.
you brought up earlier the conversation on Shay Shay Club with Cat Williams, and he said this is the time for truth. And that statement was, like you said, there's more than one meaning to a statement. And one of the things that I said in my verse in our last song that we did that hasn't been released yet, it really had more meaning. And I don't think most it's gonna fly over most people's head unless they look up the definition, because I literally looked up the definition of matrix in order to write the verse that continued after the words that I said. But my point in that is, when Cat Williams said that this is the time for truth, I think most people understood it as this was time for him to speak his truth, and they didn't really understand that or understand that it wasn't just about him or the truth that he was revealing in that moment, or about comedians and about the industry. He literally meant, because I resonated with what he was saying, he literally meant that this is the time for truth for the world as a whole. This is the time for truth. The things are set to change in this moment, in this year. This is the year of the eight. So this year means money. The financial system is going to change. People who are aware and knowledgeable, who are in the crypto space, finances are going to change. But also, there are a lot of truths being told, like the Epstein files, and, you know, other things that are coming out. But just in general, this is the time for truth. And people didn't really catch on to what he was saying because, again, they're so stuck in the matrix. So all they heard was what they heard and him talking about comedians. But that's not what he meant. He meant that a whole lot bigger than how he said it. It's time for the truth. A lot of truths are going to come out. And the worst part about it is the masses aren't going to see it. Even if they put the truth right in their face, a lot of people aren't going to see it and understand it. I'm gonna let that go. We end in this space, so we end in this space because I could go on, but
We're
it's
gonna
time
need
for
that
the truth.
energy in the future. We're gonna need that in the future. And I see we have a listener named Tommy that's in here. It's nice to meet you. Nice to see you. And I'm gonna take that as a dot, not just to end the space because ain't nothing wrong with that. Nice to meet you, like I said. But my name is Tommy as well, so I find that funny that the first show we ever had.
Your real name?
My real name is Tommy with a Y.
Oh, I didn't know that. I think I did, but I don't think I did. I
It's
don't
fun.
know.
I just find that those little synchronicities follow me.
That might have been. You might be taking that as the wrong sign. That might be a sign to keep going and keep.
I don't mind keep going if my eyes didn't hurt. My eyes.
I can tell though. I can tell you tired. I can tell you tired. I'm just talking stuff.
I ain't really too tired, but my eyes hurt and my phone finna die and blah 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 blah. I want to be way more prepared next time, and then we could start way earlier in the day. Well, what you want to do? Hour, 2, 3, 4, 5. Like we just go with the energy then. But yeah, it was just very very spontaneous. So we're gonna rock it like that for sure. And I guess we'll just end it right here. We already played the song, so I'm just gonna end it before we start talking about most stuff.
All right, man. You get you some rest. BCR Beyonder, we really appreciate you for always taking care of the audio and IT in the background and streaming us to YouTube. Really, really appreciate you, man. And I wish you the best, and I hope everything is well. And for our audience members, I appreciate you coming up, apparently voted. And maybe we'll hear from you, future wealthy millionaire, wealthionaire. Next time.
You gotta give people time. Y'all know, man.
He's been in our spaces. He's been in our spaces before.
I'm an introvert. I really don't like talking. It took me all this time to start talking. But anyway.
Hey, that's me and you both. You got me voted. So we like I said, we gonna inspire and vote some more people. My job right now is to be shadow banned. That is my goal. I keep telling you that. Like, I don't speak. I don't do these types of things. My wife go live all the time, not to be sitting there looking goofy. But these are subjects that I'm passionate about, and I know what my goal is. Not necessarily to be shadow banned, but to spread knowledge. And I know that knowledge is gonna give me shadow banned. And but be honest, if you're not being shadow banned in the space that we are in, then something that you're talking about is not right, because they shadow ban the people who are on target.
Yep.
They make sure you don't get enough views, enough acknowledgement, enough followers.
I don't care about nothing they talking about. I'm trying to build my servers where they can kiss my ass, but we'll get to that.
That too, but I'm just saying that's why being shadow banned is my goal, because if you're not getting shadow banned, something ain't right. You're not doing something right. Your knowledge ain't right. You missing something. You missing a piece. So I'm gonna keep talking my talk till I find that subject that really ticks them off.
I know some subject, but we'll get to that.
I'm surprised. I'm surprised that I didn't have to jump in and out a few times tonight, because usually I have to, and we just be talking about crypto then.
You know how to go.
It's late night. They might be asleep tonight.
Yeah,
we slid in there.
I'm with you. Well, I appreciate all y'all. We're gonna go and wrap it up right here. Definitely appreciate BCR, man. They be coming with. When the energy get down low in the chat, and it's been low if y'all can't tell. We've been back cooking, and he been really coming with some authentic ideas. It's inspiring these spaces like these to just keep pushing the limit and keep pushing the limit and keep pushing it. So definitely was needed, and definitely reinvigorated me, because like the space we had today, just the crypto space. Once again, I ain't want to do it. I DM. I said, hey, bro, what do you think? Basically, I'm going to sum it up, keep going. Like DJ Cats, all right. We got it. Let's innovate. Let's do it. So you put the battery in my back, I put the battery in yours. Pause. We just keep it going. But I'm going to wrap it up right here. I appreciate all y'all. One.
All right. Good night.
I feel like I'm losing my mind. Is everybody in the world blind? Please, Lord, give me a sign, a sign. I feel like I'm losing my mind. Is everybody in